Welcome to www.rei-tv.com. I am Nick, as usual, your host, and also as usual, I'm glad you came to join us tonight. Today, first off, I gotta tell you, I gotta apologize a little bit for not being around as much. I only made 2 videos last week for y'all. I like saying y'all every now and then. I'm not from down south, although I did live in Dallas for a while, but you don't really care, do you? In any case, I think I broke my toe, and you probably don't care about that either, but those of you who are on our list, our pre-launch list, who are getting all those free stuff by emails every couple days, and the rest of you aren't, by the way, sign up, you'll know about my toe and everything, and you probably don't care either, do you? In any case, it's Newbie Tuesday, and today we're talking about mistakes made in the business, and I'll raise my hand and tell you that these are almost all mistakes that I have made, and hopefully I can help some of you new guys from making these same mistakes in your business as you get rolling. One thing I will say before I go into all these stupid things that I have done in the course of my career that I regret, I still have only had one house ever that I didn't make a profit on when the whole deal came out in the wash. So if you're buying right, that's the point and the lesson to be learned. If you're buying right, you're still going to make money no matter what happens. Now, getting right to it. Here's some of the stupid mistakes that I've made that I want you to avoid. So get out a piece of paper if you don't have one already, or put me on hold, which probably you do anyways, and write some of these down. First off, don't buy a property without having the proper comps on it, comparable sales. Know how much that property is worth before you sign those papers. Yeah, I'm ringing the disclaimer bell on there because it's something I did that was stupid once. I bought a property based on not totally what the seller told me it was worth, but I didn't have good enough comps. I saw a couple comps and I didn't do my homework well enough. I didn't use the square footage method to figure out the comps. Anyway, I bought a property, put my name on it, put it in my pocket, and then found out it wasn't worth as much as I hoped it was worth. And that's the point. I was hoping it was worth a certain amount, and I got emotionally and personally involved in the deal. And I ended up buying a house that was not worth how much I paid for it. I'm sure some of you guys have done it, so that's that. Don't do it. Get good comps. If you don't know how to get comps, and I'll do a show someday on how to get good comps. I'm also going to have somebody, probably a guest on the show, or I'm at least going to give you a source where you can get really good comps, cheap as well. So, but get good comps. Second, don't buy a house sub 2 just because they will sell it. In a lot of cases, when somebody wants to deed you their house, they're deeding you their home along with their problems. So just because somebody says, take my house, please, it doesn't mean you have to do it. Make sure you do your homework when you're buying a house sub 2. Just because somebody signed it over to you doesn't make it a good deal. Make sure you know how much equity is in it, especially now. With the market the way it is now, there's plenty of places out there that you could either lease or buy subject to the mortgage and have them give the house over to you. Make sure you know the area. If it's an area that nobody wants to live in, it's not going to do you much good to have that free house, because remember, you are still making those mortgage payments. And make sure that your payments are low enough. Make sure you do your homework and you know what the properties rent for in that area. You don't want to take a house that has a $1,700 a month payment, sell it with a lease option, or try to sell it with a lease option, and then find out after you've signed on the dotted line that you could rent the same house for $1,000 all over town. So just because somebody's willing to give you a house sub 2 doesn't make it a good deal. Make sure you do the comps, make sure you know how much it's going to rent for, make sure it's an area that people are going to want to live in, or you're going to be stuck with a big old house and that monthly mortgage payment. Some of the things you can do to prevent that: when you sign that contract, make the contract contingent upon you finding a suitable tenant. We do that with every sub 2 now. Unless my tenant is ready to move in, I don't close and take the house. So just because they're willing to sell you the house sub 2 doesn't make it a deal. Secondly, or thirdly, or whateverly, don't sell to the first tenant just because they want it. Just because you got somebody there with a $5,000 option fee. Now, sometimes it's real tempting, I know, man, especially if you're new and you got that house under contract and you're worried about making them mortgage payments. Just because somebody is ready to move in, don't let them move in. There's a reason they can't qualify for their own loan, and they're buying that house rent option. Check their credit. If nothing else, get an account with the National Tenant Network. I think it's nationaltenantnetwork.com or ntn.org. I don't know. Go to Google and check it out. But make sure you've done a background check on these people. Make sure that they pay their rent. check their jobs, make sure that they have a job, and the smartest thing is to drop by their house when they don't expect you, where they currently live, and see what that place looks like. Because whatever it looks like, that's what your house is going to look like in 6 months. I guarantee it. So don't sell to the first person that appears without doing your homework. Again, it comes down to due diligence. Just like you want to do your homework and get good comps and check out the title before you buy, you want to check out those folks before you let them move into your, could be your profit, could be your liability. So do that. Now, once they're in there, don't let a tenant slide. Oh my God, did this cost me? I don't believe I'm telling you all this stuff. Now, this was the blanche. What happened was I had a tenant. She had some problem, so she couldn't make the rent. And I said, oh, just try to come up with it by next week, if you can. And she couldn't. But then when she knew I could give her 2 weeks, then she figured I'd give her 2 months. And now the rent was a month behind. And Mr. Safoni, I'm coming up with the rent. It'll be here soon. And I said, oh, thank you so much. I so like that you were here. Pay me that rent when you can. Pay me the rent. And what happened? 6 months later, I'm finally going through the eviction and getting the person out of there. Disclaimer bell, don't be a dum-dum. If it's the 5th of the month or even the 1st of the month and you don't have that month's payment, they get a certified letter immediately letting them know that you're firm. Be fair when you need to be fair. But if you let them slide once, they're going to want to slide all over you and all over your bank account. You got to be tough with these people. I know it's hard to do, and that was the thing with me. I didn't want to be the mean landlord. Well, you know what? I'm not a landlord. I'm a businessman, and if I want my business to stay open, I need my rent every month so I can make those payments. So especially the first time, you know, if they've been there for a year and they need an extra 10 days or something, you know, the world's not going to come to an end. But the first time they're late, you got to come down on them with everything you got and let them know that you are not going to accept late payments and charge them the late payment fee. You got to, because if you don't, you're setting a bad precedent. So use that. What else do I got here? Don't not get title insurance. If you're buying a house sub 2, even if you're paying all the closing costs, buy the title insurance. Now, I will say this. I've never made this mistake. I've always done this correctly, but I know people that have done this. You know, title insurance, sometimes it's cheaper, sometimes it's more. But when you're buying a house sub 2, you got to have title insurance on that in case something comes up in 6 months. It costs you $600 or $700, but would you rather pay $600 or $700 now, or would you rather pay $10,000 or $20,000 or who God knows what when that mechanics lien comes up? Which brings up this other one. Don't ever take an option fee from a personal check unless maybe you've got 2 or 3 weeks before they're going to move in. But if they want to move in over the next couple days, no, you know what? Change that. Never take a personal check for an option fee when they're buying your house rent option. Make sure that it's a certified check so you know you got that money in your pocket before you even waste time signing a lease. Certified check or cash. Cash is always good. Make sure you give them a receipt. Cash isn't always good, I mean, but I'll take it over a personal check now any day. And here's another one that could slap you like a lost dog is don't pay your contractors in advance. Now, I hope as a new investor you're not doing rehabs. I don't suggest you even think about picking up a hammer until you know this business better. Or I suggest you never think about picking up a hammer. You hire somebody else to pick up the hammer. But never, ever, ever pay your contractor the full amount in advance. Typically, you know, there's different ways that different people teach. Get some training if you're going to do rehabs. But, you know, you can give them a quarter up front and then another quarter when it's half done. Here's how I do it. They get 25% up front, 25% when the job is half done, then they get the other 50% when it's finished. You give a contractor money up front, and 9 out of 10 times, I can almost, in case some contractor's watching this that I'm pissing off, you're the 1 out of 10 that are good guys. But 9 out of 10 times, if you pay that contractor up front, they're going to use that money to finish the job that they're on now, and they're going to have to sell somebody else to buy the materials to do your job. So never, ever, ever, ever pay that contractor up front. And the worst mistake that you could ever make in this business is not to get your free membership from this site, www.rei-tv.com. Make sure that you're a free member. Fill in the little thingy up there. Get on the pre-launch list if this is not launched yet, because we're launching soon. But if you're watching watching this and it's launched, which chances are you are, make sure you become a free member. There's lots of goodies. I'm Nick. Thanks for watching. Don't do the stupid things that I did, and you'll make lots of money. Now go make an offer.